What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we finally have an official date of which the Senate is saying they want to have that bipartisan bill hit the floor for a vote. And yes, it is in the month of July. This is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update. Now, as you guys know, right now, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said that he wants to have the bipartisan bill and the reconciliation bill, both the physical infrastructure and the human infrastructure, which is going to have stimulus provisions for people and family, all done in the month of July, and he said he'd like to see it ready by next week. And of course, as you know, as I reported yesterday, we have had a ton of fighting in Congress from Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, the Problem Solvers Caucus, all fighting over what should and shouldn't be passed. Well, now we're seeing articles come out with the official date for voting. And here it is. Take a look. Democrats race to push bipartisan infrastructure bill through the Senate. Here's another one. Democrats race to bring bipartisan infrastructure deal to the Senate floor. And here is the date. Senate looks to vote on infrastructure as soon as July 19th. So you guys, just 10 days away, they want to have the bipartisan bill voted on. Now you might be saying to yourself, the bipartisan bill, that's the traditional infrastructure. That's roads, bridges, highways. That's not human infrastructure or stimulus provisions for people. So how does this all coincide? You might be thinking, are they just going to pass that traditional infrastructure bill on its own and then do reconciliation? Or is Nancy Pelosi going to hold strong to her stance, demanding that they also pass reconciliation alongside that and get these both done by July 19th? Or is Nancy Pelosi going to back away from that stance and just pass bipartisanship? Maybe she's going to say, hey, Joe Biden changed his mind, and you know what? I want to get on board with him, so I'm going to back off and let it pass because that's the president's wishes. I got a little secret for you if you're wondering all this, and here it is. Nobody really knows. And if anybody tells you they know, I think they're kidding you, because right now we have no idea what Congress is going to do. But I do know that July 19th now is set for the bipartisan bill vote. And if that is the case, whether it passes or whether they start up reconciliation, it just means that they're pushing all the provisions through faster. And we can expect to see a lot unfold in the course of the next 10 days. So you guys, I'm going to dive into this article, let you know what they're saying about the timeline, what we can expect. And I've also got some video footage just kind of summarizing all the details of what's happening right now in Congress. So that way you're caught up on the latest on the infrastructure bill and stimulus provisions as of today, July 9th, 2021. But before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, don't forget to smash the like button, leave your comments, and share this out if you think other people need to see it. That just takes a second. Helps out the channel a lot. Thank you so much. And if this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date on all this stuff, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. And if you got any specific questions for me, Instagram is the best way to reach me. Shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. First, let's take a look at some video footage summarizing everything for you. And then we're going to dive into this article, get you caught up on this timeline for July 19th being the vote date for the first portion of the infrastructure bill.
President Biden traveled to Crystal Lake, Illinois on Wednesday to tout his infrastructure proposal for working American families. He highlighted the need for advancements in what he calls human infrastructure. While Democrats are still nailing down a price tag, they are planning to pass the plan through reconciliation. This, of course, is a process that just requires a majority support. Meantime, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says that his party is ready to put up a fight against Democrats' attempts. For more on this, I want to bring in Heather Boucher. She's a member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors. Heather, thank you for being here. Appreciate your time. So as we're talking about this infrastructure package, we're always asking the question about whether Republicans will come on board. But this is a White House that really needs to also keep its Democratic coalition intact. And some Democratic lawmakers say that the bipartisan infrastructure deal falls short of addressing those so-called human infrastructure needs like climate change, child care, health care. So how is the White House, balancing all of those demands of progressives and those moderate Democrats?
Well, the president has been very clear, first of all, that inaction is not an option. And he's worked very hard to have this bipartisan proposal that he's worked very hard with bipartisan members of Congress on. And that deal is focused on the kinds of physical infrastructure, roads, bridges, broadband, making sure we get lead pipes out of going into people's homes. But there is also the more fulsome agenda that the president laid out when he was a candidate under the Build Back Better Better banner that focuses on making sure that families have what they need to be successful in the labor market and make sure that their loved ones are well cared for, and to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to protect the planet and have a competitive U.S. economy. So combined, this is really the president's agenda, but he's both committed to working with folks from the other side of the aisle and making sure that he focuses on delivering to the American people this fulsome package, which, time and time again, we've seen so many polls. This is what the American people want. They want investments in care, in child care, in the child tax credit, paid family leave. They want to make sure that the climate is being protected and that we are creating these good jobs alongside the more traditional physical infrastructure.
Right, and part of this deal depends on it's a two-pronged approach. So getting the smaller package, but also this other package through reconciliation. And Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has said this week that Republicans are going to push back on Democrats' plan to pass their bill through that reconciliation process. So how would this administration respond to that?
Well, first of all, the bipartisan package can go through regular order, and it needs the support of at least 60 senators. It needs the support of Republicans, but the Democrats do have control, and they are able to do things through other pieces of legislative order. I think what's really important here is that President Biden is focusing on what is going to deliver for the American people, what is going to help grow, develop, and sustain America's middle class, and that this package of proposals are things that people have long wanted. So, we can talk about the shenanigans going on Capitol Hill, but at the end of the day, the president is really focused on making sure that we deliver for the American people and get these things done.
Well, there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As she said that Democrats are in full control, and regardless of whether Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says they're going to be putting up a fight against Democrats, right now they hold the majority in all of Congress, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and they can pretty much push through what they want as long as they stay unified. Now, we're hearing that they want to have that bipartisan bill on the 19th, and we're going to see if they're going to have reconciliation expedited to have it ready alongside it to appease Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. We will see. But now let's take a look at this article that's going to be giving us an update on this new schedule. So, link in the description below, and this article says that the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill could come to the Senate floor as soon as July 19th, sources confirmed to the Post on Wednesday. Now, the potential vote comes as Democrats look to pass a second sweeping infrastructure bill progressives have advocated for despite Republican pushback, and that is that second portion known as the American Families Plan that will provide human infrastructure, or essentially more stimulus for people. Now it says, Speaker Nancy Pelosi has indicated that the House would not take up the bipartisan deal without the Senate passing a reconciliation bill, allowing for Democrats to pass a more extensive passage by bypassing the filibuster in the upper chamber. Democrats in both chambers have said that they would like to see an infrastructure measure passed by the end of July, and according to what we're reading here, they could potentially have this done. A group of bipartisan senators hashed out a $1.2 trillion plan to address hard infrastructure, which would be spent over the course of 8 years. Now, the compromise plan includes $579 billion in new spending and $300 billion, which would be allocated toward transportation, and $250 billion, which would go towards broadband, power, water, infrastructure. Now, the bipartisan framework, led by Senator Rob Portman and Kyrsten Sinema, has been endorsed by bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus in the House, and I reported that to you as it came out that they also now have support from that Problem Solvers Caucus. Now, President Biden previously indicated support for the bipartisan plan, later backtracking over whether he would sign the bill into law without a large companion bill. He later clarified that he would sign the compromise bill without reconciliation package following strong pushback from the GOP. And as you guys will recall, they made a deal, a bipartisan deal that was supported by the president. Then 2 hours later, he came out and said, I'm not signing that deal into law unless you also have reconciliation alongside it. You have that human infrastructure. Sure, you have traditional, but we need that as well. I thought you guys knew it was a tandem deal. Then a lot of GOP got upset, and then we saw him a couple days later kind of backtrack and said, my words were misconstrued. It was a misunderstanding. I'll go ahead and pass that bipartisan deal, but I also want to see reconciliation, but I'm not going to back up from that. However, as we read, we also heard Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi say this as well, and she has not backed down from her stance as of yet, so we will see. So you guys, with that being said, I'm expecting a lot to be unfolding over the course of the next 10 days as we near that July 19th deadline for physical infrastructure, and we could be seeing a lot with reconciliation if Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi holds to her stance, because if they don't have reconciliation ready and they bring this to the Senate floor and then it goes to the House, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi said that she will just let it sit there until they have reconciliation ready. So that could expedite the process. So I'll keep you guys up to date as to what unfolds. And once again, thank you guys so much for joining me. That is the latest on the stimulus negotiations. I'll be sure to keep you up to date. And if you like and appreciate that, and you haven't already, and you made it this far, don't forget to smash that like button. It helps out the channel. Thank you so much. And if this is your first time here, you want to stay up to date on all this stuff, don't forget, I like to talk about money, Congress, politics, unemployment, stimulus. Smash the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I'll keep you up to date. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me on Instagram at SteveRam3. And with that being said, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. I'll be sure to catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.